Welcome to the Hollywood Scholar. I'm Jed Morgan, and I just finished watching the pilot episode of Picard Season 2. And I initially planned on doing a full long-form video on this, as I normally do once a week for my reviews for this episode. But so little happened in it, and there was so little to talk about, I decided to just kind of do a vomit session where I just kind of speak my thoughts and see how it all translates and hope it gets a little coherent in the end. Well, I gotta say, it's not as offensive as season 1 so far. I mean, it is just the pilot. I imagine season 2 gets even more offensive for for fans of the original show. This is still not Star Trek. This is still not Next Generations. This is still not Picard. He in no way, shape, or form is the same character, full of hope and drive and a desire to be morally good. All that is gone now, and it's an empty vessel. That's all Picard is now as a character and a show. And even 7 and 9 kind of went in the same route. Everything that she used to be is also gone. And yeah, that's a lot of what I have to say about this is it's just so poorly written. It's not offensive like The Last Jedi or season 1. It's just badly written. But it does set up a lot of stuff that can be as offensive. Like bringing back Q, one of the best parts of Next Generations. These writers do not have the intelligence nor the skill to write the complexities of Q scenarios in the way the original show. It's just going to be a bastardized version of Q that in no way resembles the intelligent, thought-provoking, and maniacal child that Q initially was. So I fully expect them to ruin him. And they're apparently spoilers. I mean, it was in the trailers, so not really a spoiler, but spoilers. They're going back to 2024 to fix the past because Q apparently changed the future to be some sort of totalitarian future, which is very ironic considering the type of government officials that these actors and writers seem to support. And it's very ironic that they don't see the similarities, especially, one certain man in Canada who looks like a Cuban dictator. But by going into the past, I see them using that as an opportunity to pervert the canon that has already been pissed all over during the Kurtzman era Trek. I fully expect them just to use that an excuse, similar to the change that was done in the first of the Jar Jar Abrams Star Trek movies. By changing the past, they can just kind of forget about everything that came before and do their own thing. And Picard has finally come to that step. It already made fun of canon in season 1. Now, if anyone says, hey, this isn't Star Trek, this doesn't look like Star Trek, this isn't what the world is supposed to look like, this isn't the Federation, it's not idealistic, they'll just say, oh, a different timeline. Different timeline. Yeah, we changed the timeline in season 2, so it doesn't matter. They're using it to shield themselves from criticism and pervert this franchise even more than they already have, and that's going to be horrific to see, and I'm not looking forward to that whatsoever. This episode, I don't know if I'm going to continue with these reviews just because of how empty and broken this episode was. It was meaningless. It was all to set up the last few minutes, and everyone was so annoying. None of the characters were written with any sort of complexity, especially the female scientist. She's still just as annoying and ridiculous as she was in season 1. And she was able to translate a Borg message in 2 seconds flat. Not the computer. If the computer had done it and she was just using the computer, that was fine, but she did it herself in 2 seconds flat. No human being, I don't care man or female, this isn't about sexism before you come at me with that. No man or woman alive of any species, maybe Vulcan, but definitely not a human woman, would have been able to translate that message in 2 seconds flat. The only Star Trek character that I would accept doing that is Data. Unless it's the computer, of course. But yeah, when the whole crew of the Stargazer is like, well, I don't know what this sound is. This sounds really weird. And she's like, oh, let me do it. Oh, it's this. It's like, what the fuck did you just do? That's utter nonsense. So yeah, she's just as annoying. And the other characters, they don't really have a lot of screen time yet, but it looks like they'll be main characters going forward, so I don't have much to say on them. 7 and 9, they regressed her entire character arc from Voyager. Voyager was all about her getting to become more and more human. Now she's as the least human she's been since the very beginning of Voyager. And yeah, they're regressing her character similar to how they're regressing Picard's character, tearing down what came before to prop up what's new. And that's what a lot of these franchises have been doing with the current eras. You take down what was old, tear it down, burn it, piss on it, and use it to prop up your new characters. And it doesn't work. It has not worked a single fucking time. If you respect what came before, build on what came before, and make your new characters built off of that, that's where success comes from. That's what Cobra Kai did. That's what Ghostbusters Afterlife did. Those were successfully bringing back old franchises that respected what came before. But Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who, they're all like, you liked what came before? You're a terrible person for liking what came before. Now come watch our show full of member berries of what came before. We'll mock what came before, burn it down, and make it into some contorted shape that no way is similar to what you love. And that's the direction this season is also taking, just from the first episode. And they didn't do anything offensive yet, but they were setting up offensive things, and the writing was done by a toddler. No one had character moments. It was all just, how do we get from A to B? Oh, we need to walk that way. Let's walk that way. That was like the best type of dialogue that this show contained. So I very much doubt that I'm going to continue with these reviews, just because I don't know if I can get through what they're setting up. The stuff that is coming up with Q being destroyed, changing the timeline, mocking Picard more, destroying 7-9, who's one of my favorite Star Trek characters. It's all just going down a road that I don't want to go down. I can't believe I even got down through season 1 in this episode, as much as I already have, but it's a lost cause and it's gone. So I don't see myself continuing. Let me know if you guys want me to, though. I'll do it if you guys want me to. As heel versus babyface Batwoman style, but it was painful to watch as a writer, just to see such bad storytelling, if nothing else, such bad writing, if nothing else, and a complete disregard for what the Federation is supposed to look like, what the themes of a Star Trek show is supposed to look like, the type of character that Picard is, the hope that was at the fundamental part of his character, and the intelligence of it. He could be in a room with 20 antagonists and he could talk his way out of it, beat them with the silver tongue that he's known for. But in this episode, there's spoilers for the end. There's a part where the Borg Queen is coming over to their ship and everyone's telling him different things like, hey, do we attack her? Do we let her on board? Do we negotiate? Do we try to blow her out of the sky? Do we run away? Like, what do we do? And Picard's been in those scenarios before, and in the past he's always taken control. He's always been strong. He's always been like, all right, we got to do this, we got to do that. Even if he's wrong, he's confident in what he's doing and he has a plan. He makes decisions. But in this scenario, he just goes, I don't know, doing his best Joe Biden impression, and then he just kind of wanders out following everyone. Everyone's like, give us orders, and he just like, Borg Queen starts shooting the people around him. That's not Picard. Even an old aging Picard would be taking command of the situation. He would be ordering people around. He would either say fire or stop firing. He just kind of stood there the whole time. And yeah, gave his best Joe Biden impersonation. So if that's what he was going for, he did a fantastic job. But this is no way the strong, moral-centric Jean-Luc Picard that I grew up loving and is one of my favorite Star Trek characters as well. 7 and 9 was just a raging anger machine. That was the only emotion she portrayed through the entire thing. She's just like, I'm angry now. I ain't human. I hate humans. And then when the Borg showed up, she's like, I hate Borg. Let's blow up Borg. She just kind of hates everyone and everything. So not the 7 and 9 that grew to have so much empathy near the end of Voyager, and not the one that we fell in love with. It's going down a path that I'm not willing to follow unless you guys want me to, but that's all I gotta say on that. Not much more happened in the episode that's worth even talking about. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Anon. If you like what I do here and want to see good, compelling stories that Hollywood will no longer give you, check out my book series, Odyssey of a Phoenix, a mythological epic about philosophy, morality, and modern-day mental illness issues. Books 1, Down in Flames, and Book 2, Apocalypse Then, currently on sale. Book 3, Kill the Dark, coming soon.